Good morning, welcome to Catex TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Monday, March 9th, 2015. If you want to follow us on Twitter, go to Catex TV. In Moscow, 6 people have now been arrested in the murder of Boris Nemtsov, the opposition leader who was assassinated on a bridge in the shadows of the Kremlin. Rounding up the usual suspects, these are Chechens, supposedly intent on killing the opposition leader because of Islamist reasons. It's a little bit absurd, but we'll see how this develops. Meanwhile, the United Kingdom insurer RSA, Royal Sun Alliance, is facing a potential fine of about £3.6 million stemming from the Irish unit that it had troubles with beginning 2 years ago. This is reported in the Irish Times this morning. This is the maximum type of fine that could be levied for financial irregularities. The fine could be reduced somewhat if it's demonstrated that RSA has complied completely with the Irish authorities. The penalty arrives on the same day that RSA Ireland's former CEO Philip Smith is due to begin a 5-day hearing in the Employment Appeals Court in Ireland over his alleged constructive dismissal. Mr. Smith is fighting that. RSA is fighting back. The scandal in Ireland has led to a substantial injection of RSA capital into the Irish unit, as well as a sell-off of a number of its units. Last night in Oklahoma City, in the area of Guthrie, a 4.0 magnitude earthquake struck at about 10:24 p.m. Central Time. There were no reports of any damage or injuries. It was the 11th earthquake in the area yesterday. Chad and Niger have launched a military operation against Boko Haram in northern Nigeria. A source from the Niger government said the two countries had launched a ground and air operation against Boko Haram in northeastern Nigeria. This comes on the heels of a video over the weekend indicating that Boko Haram has sworn allegiance to ISIS. Chad and Niger are intent on defeating Boko Haram. 5 years of violence has cut off much of the trade between them and Africa's biggest economy, Nigeria. The Chadian military is quite formidable. Ask Muammar Gaddafi and the Libyans about that. One of the interesting arrangements in reinsurance and insurance that was revealed at a conference in New York last week was the fact that Nephila Capital is now involved in an arrangement to provide risk capital backing through the wholesale American broker Amwins. Nephila is going to be putting about 10% in a follow-form facility that Amwins is going to be writing 10% of the capacity in property deals that Amwins is writing in the United States. This is going to include primary insurance business. This is a big step for insurance-linked securities and for Nephila in general. It marks a very clear demarcation of coming out of the reinsurance space and beginning to get into property insurance. The big melt is underway here in the United States. Here in Princeton now, it's about 45 degrees. There are still mountains of snow about 15 feet high. But across the United States now, wet weather has swept across southern Texas, leading to flood warnings in Houston. Also, the Ohio River at Cincinnati is expected to cause some flooding right now. A number of low-lying streets in Cincinnati by the river are already closed. More rain is forecast for the early part of this week, and it could lead to bigger flooding there. The International Air Transport Association released its annual safety report, saying that last year was by some measures the safest in the history of commercial aviation, despite the 2 high-profile crashes of Malaysian Airlines planes. According to the IATA, while aviation safety was in the headlines in 2014, the data show that flying continues to improve its safety performance. IATA represents about 250 airlines. Said in its annual report there were 12 fatal accidents in 2014, with 641 fatalities, compared to 19 fatal accidents and 517 fatalities in the 5-year period between 2009 and 2013. Those are per year statistics, 19 fatals and 517. This translates into an accident rate measured in hull losses per 1 million flights of 0.23, or the equivalent of 1 loss for every 4.4 million flights. IATA statistics in 2014 did not include the loss of the Malaysian Airlines Flight 17 that was shot down by a missile over Ukraine. It did include the high-profile disappearance of Malaysian Flight 370, which was lost about a year ago. If that's determined to be terrorism, this number will go down even further. Meanwhile, in Illinois, firefighters continue to work today to extinguish the last of a series of fires that erupted when a Burlington Northern Santa Fe railway train loaded with Bakken crude oil derailed near the town of Galena, Illinois. The incident marked the latest in a series of derailments in the United States. As we reported on Thursday, firefighters had determined that they were going to let the 21 cars that had jumped the track burn. Well, it's still burning as of today on Monday morning. Burlington Northern, a unit of Berkshire Hathaway, has set up a claim center to help residents who may have suffered property damage or need temporary relocation. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.